What is going on, dudes? My name is Lo13 and welcome to my first ever playthrough of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee, which I also decided to do a Professor Oak challenge in. If you haven't heard of the Professor Oak challenge before, it's basically a challenge where you have to get every single Pokedex entry possible before each gym badge. Now that means you catch every single Pokemon you can find and evolve them to the highest stage of evolution you can possibly do so. The challenge was initially popularized by Johnstone, I think. Your goal is to get every single Pokemon you can on one copy of the game, and basically as quick as possible, even though that's not really necessary unless you really want to go fast. But the goal is to basically complete as much as you can with one copy of the game, which also means no trading, so we'll not get Pokemon like Gengar, Alakazam, or whatever. Before this project, I had literally never played Let's Go before because I really did not like the Let's Go mechanics. I was not very happy that they recreated Kanto again. Also, at the time when it was released, I was actually not playing Pokemon Go still. I had stopped in 2017 because I got kind of bored of it, because at that time I didn't go out and do anything. But nowadays I legitimately play it daily, and I decided to give this a try a couple months ago when I was sick with COVID. Without further ado, let's get into it. To start out, we have this AR experience where the Eevee jumps out of the screen and we're sucked into the game. It's Sword Art Online oh my god, I can't say that, bro. It's Sword Art Online all over again. After naming ourselves and our rival, we're quickly introduced to our version-exclusive starter Pokemon. In this case, Eevee. I know that Eevee and Pikachu are obviously not exclusives, but the partner Pokemon is an exclusive. Not only do both have boosted stats since they don't evolve, but Pikachu is faster with better offensive stats, and Eevee has a wider move pool of absolutely busted moves to bend this game to its will. Speaking of Eeveelution, I hope I'm not too quiet. I wanted to show this off because Jatter got me this for Christmas. This thing is fucking huge. This is as big as my head. I actually forgot to name my Eevee, which will be a constant throughout a decent portion of the journey until I actually realized that I should, because I initially planned this to be a shiny map quest, which changed to a badge quest, and eventually I scrapped that idea entirely because the controls in this game suck. Oh my god, I hate the controls, dude. What the hell is this? Why can't I just use my Pro Controller? On the first couple of routes, aside from regular Pokemon of Rattata and Pidgey, is Bellsprout, which is the newest addition to the first couple routes. To the west of Viridian City, we can add both Nidorans and Spearow to our totals. Route 2 holds no new Pokemon, so we make our way to Viridian Forest, where we will catch several more Pokemon. Caterpie, Weedle, Pikachu, and the rare special spawn, Bulbasaur. Viridian Forest is the first location in the game that makes use of new, unique mechanics in the game, namely the special spawns and the size auras. The special spawns are very rare encounters whose encounter odds are extremely low, it's like 0.5% or something like that, but then they can be improved with catch combo of 11 or more. Right, catch combos. Catch combos are the most fundamental part of the Let's Go games. It's actually how you shiny hunt, grind, and improve the odds of rare encounters. And you might be able to guess how this works. You catch the same species of Pokemon over and over and over and over again. I initially thought I would run out of money and balls because of this and would be unable to fully grind up my team, but luckily the more you catch, the more candies you are given that you can sell to fund your mass relocation of the local fauna. That's actually a really good line. I forgot I wrote that. With this squared away, it was time to catch a literal ton of Bellsprout to level up our catches. Not gonna lie, I have literally no idea how it only took Johnstone 80 oddish to level up all of his catches in his Professor Oak challenge, but it took me 195 Bellsprout. Probably because I'm bad at the game and I'm still not good at the catching mechanics because I hate them. But after about 3 total hours of actual hunting and said 195 Bellsprout, we evolved all of our catches to reach a total of 23 Pokemon, which is the most you can catch before Brock. After quickly stomping Brock's team with our Venusaur, we made our way east towards Cerulean City. On this first route, you can catch Ekans, an exclusive to Eevee, and the special spawn of Charmander. Oh, which happens to be the first spawn I encountered. After buying the Magikarp from the creepy salesman, we headed into Mount Moon, where the majority of our encounters for this section will be. Alongside a bunch of trainers and Team Rocket being a pain, we can catch Zubat, Geodude, Clefairy, and Paris on the upper floors. and Clefable being a rare encounter on the bottom floor, which will save me the effort of having to find another Moonstone. The special spawn in the mountain is Chansey, which also happens to be the most common special spawn throughout the game, and you'll find many horror stories of plenty of people finding a ton of shiny Chansey, including me. Actually, after this whole thing, when I was trying to find a shiny Eevee, and I had to go back and get more lures or something like that, I don't remember what I was doing, and I ended up finding this shiny Chansey, which I will show on screen. I ended up running away and not catching it because they didn't want to break my Eevee chain, but then my Eevee chain broke because my Eevee fled without doing the flee animation, which sucks. So that's my first legitimate ever shiny fail, because this was before another challenge that I'm going to be working on a little bit later. The final Pokemon I had to catch here was Onix, which took the longest to actually find and catch. And while it will be possible to get both fossils in this game, for now we have to just pick one. I was clearly angled here toward the Dome fossil, and truth be told, I didn't really care which one I got, but the game said, surely you want Lord Helix, right? Which we'll revive later. Before leaving the cave, however, you want to make sure you grab Moonstones, as this is the only place you can get them, and you won't be able to come back to Mount Moon until you get Fly. You can find them in 2 craters on the lower floors. You can find them by taking the 2 ladders to the lower floors that don't take you to the exit, and they respawn there every day. With Clefable being encountered inside of the cave, I only needed 3, so you can evolve both Nidorandlines and Jigglypuff, which we will find a little bit later. Upon leaving Mount Moon, we finally headed east towards Cerulean. With nothing else new we can catch on Route 4, we head north of Cerulean to catch the last of our encounters. Oh, shit. Well, we also had to squash our rival real quick. We head north of Cerulean to catch the last of our encounters, being Psyduck, Venonat, Meowth, and the special spawn Squirtle. While chaining encounters to make the Squirtle appear, a special surprise spawned before me. Dude, holy shit! Left, right. Dude, I'm just catching Venonat so I can get a Squirtle to spawn, and I found a fucking shiny. Bro, no fucking way, this is ridiculous. Okay, well, let's do my best to catch it now, because I want it. Yeah, I'm sick with COVID, as you can probably tell here. But, yeah, I'm just playing this game doing the Pokédex challenge, and I got the shiny I wanted. Yes, let's go, we got him. Yes, that's actually so sick. That's so sick. Oh my god. I was sitting here not even looking at the screen. I just changed the video, so I happened to look back over. It's like, oh my god, okay, there's a shiny Pokemon on my screen. I don't care about this. This is a parasite, will just evolve eventually. But, dude, oh my god, that's so cool. That's so unbelievably cool. Okay. Yeah. Oh, look at that guy. And I got my literal 11 combo too. That's incredible, bro. Oh man, I'm stoked actually. That's so cool. It's so cool. I've never had a shiny Venonat. So that's insane. I just want the Squirtle to spawn so that I can... Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in shock. So let's go, dude. I'm excited. With all the encounters out of the way, it was time to grind up our catches. Psyduck is the best to grind for this part without self-sabotaging to go back to the other side of Mount Moon. So after around 70 total Psyduck, I was actually starting to get the hang of how to get good XP from the catches. All of our team was leveled up to their highest forms. Brian ran house on Misty, earning us her second badge and finishing the section. Now, this is where things get intense. Since the third gym doesn't prevent us from exploring anywhere, we're free to go everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Pretty much the entire region is available now for us to hunt. And with that, I'll quickly go over what I caught in each route and if anything notable happened. Just south of Cerulean, I caught Vulpix, Abra, and Jigglypuff, which I immediately evolved into Wigglytuff with the other Moonstone. Jad, what are you doing, bro? Back up! After catching 3 more Meowth, where Abra also evolved into Kadabra, I was able to get that Arcanine from this lady in Vermilion. Growlithe is Pikachu only, so I will be unable to get that. In Diglett's cave, I grabbed a Diglett, and on Route 11, I caught Drowsy and Mr. Mime. After clearing out the SSN, real talk, why are there so many trainers in this game when they give no experience at all? It's really frustrating. The only way you can actually grind is go catching Pokemon, which sucks in this game. Anyway, once we grabbed Cut, we weren't going to use it at the Vermilion Gym. At least not yet. With our new secret technique, we headed back up to Cerulean City, where we can now head east toward the entrance of Rock Tunnel. After trying, and failing, to dodge the trainers on the route, we can catch Krabby on Route 10 before we get jumped by Team Rocket, and are aided by Lorelei, which, honestly, Brian and Eevee are so overleveled I could have won before without an issue. Now it's impossible for us to get Flash because we aren't allowed to walk through Diglett Tunnel until we beat Surge, so we're forced to wander our way through the unlit Rock Tunnel. Luckily, it's pretty easy enough to see the Pokemon we need to catch, being Rhyhorn, Cubone, Machop, and the rare spawn of Kangaskhan, which I happen to find immediately. Upon leaving the cave, we battle Jadigan in Lavender Town before we're scared away by the unidentifiable ghosts, prompting us to have to chase Team Rocket to their base in Celadon. Heading west from Lavender Town, I found a wild Ninetales on Route 8, saving me a bit of money so I don't have to buy a Firestone for my Vulpix. Oh, there was one here anyway. After getting a Raticate chain going to do a bit of grinding while also searching for the special spawn, I finally found the special spawn, being Porygon, which took multiple attempts to catch because it kept doing the stupid fleet animation after one Pokeball. During this, Drowsy, Diglett, Krabby, and Machop all evolved. Once arriving in Celadon City, we got the tea from Brock so we could gain access to Saffron City, making traveling to and from here much quicker. I then went to the department store to grab a bunch of evolution stones, and the first Pokemon I evolved with them was Pikachu, followed by Weepinbell, which, you'll see later, I should have actually waited to do. After dressing up in my new Team Rocket outfit, I cleared out the Team Rocket base under the Celadon Game Corner to get the Silph Scope, during which Cubone evolved. Then, after getting the secret technique of Fly right outside the Game Corner, I headed back to Lavender Town to complete the events of the Pokemon Tower, where we caught Ghastly and Haunter, and were given the Pokéflute. With the flute, I was able to head west of Celadon. Before I did that, however, I stopped in Saffron City to defeat the Fighting Dojo, where I picked him only as my reward Pokemon. I then headed back to Celadon and continued west, using the flute to awaken and catch the roadblock Snorlax. Along Route 17, the former cycling road, I caught the Ponytail line, the Dodo line, and 3 Eevee, which I evolved into Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon. Upon arriving in Fuchsia City, I struggled to figure out how the Go Park worked, then headed east to catch the new Pokemon on Route 14, which I promptly forgot about and continued on to Route 13. While hanging around on Route 13 with a lure active to find a Farfetch'd, this happened. Dude, it fucking happened again. Left, left, right, right. I know, Cat. It's crazy, isn't it? I'm, like, trying to find a fucking Farfetch'd, and, yeah. We got fucking pale lips here. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy, honestly. Why is it the other? Oh, I forgot to change it in the other one. It's gonna catch it, and it's gonna be in a Great Ball, which is sad, but it's fine. Okay, yay! We take those. It's another completely full odds Pokemon. Well, I say that I had a lure this time, so I guess technically it's half odds. Although for some reason it didn't save his name until I renamed it a second time, I had my very own shiny Shimurda to have on the final team. It wasn't too much later that I found the duck. After heading back to Fuchsia City, forgetting once again about Route 14, I finally found where you got the Surf Technique, which unlocks the rest of the region for me to explore. I first headed to Route 6, where you can find Goldeen and Seeking in the small patch of water. I then headed to Route 12, where I caught Tentacool and Horsey. Next, I headed back to Route 4, where you can find the Poliwag line in a small bit of water here. I also used a Water Stone on Poliwhirl to evolve it, completing that line. I then went to Pallet Town, sailing south where I was able to catch Staryu and Tangela, which took a few tries. I later evolved Staryu into Starmie with another Water Stone. I continued south to Cinnabar Island, where I gave my Helix fossil to the scientist, giving me Ammonite. It would be a while before I remembered to get the old Amber, but I eventually got Aerodactyl too. It's possible to get the fossil you didn't pick in a respawning spot in Cerulean Cave, but we will have to wait until the postgame for that. I then went back to Cerulean City so I could head down to the power plant. In the water just outside of it, you can catch Dratini and Dragonair. No way I found Dragonair first. Heading inside the power plant, I caught Coughing, Electabuzz, Magnemite, Voltorb, Electrode, and Weezing before I took on Zapdos. At some point during this, I evolved Shmurda into Victory Bell. My Horsey and my Tentacool also evolved. Also, for some reason, Zapdos was literally caught in the first Pokeball I hit it with, which is pretty sick. We headed south from Fuchsia City toward the Seafoam Islands. Before I got there, I made a quick combo of Magikarp so the special spawn of Lapras would appear, completing this section of the region. Once arriving at the Seafoam Islands, I caught Jinx, the Slowpoke line, Seal, and Shelder. Seal eventually evolved into Dugong, and I used my last Water Stone on Shelder. The last Pokemon I had to catch here was Articuno, which proved to be more of a pain than Zapdos, but not really by that much. Oh yeah, I was using Pokeballs for these guys because in Johnstone's video, he mentioned because they don't flee, there's no point wasting your money on the better Pokeballs, and I'm like, that makes sense. After catching Articuno, I headed back to Cinnabar Island because I needed to complete the Pokemon Mansion. In the Pokemon Mansion, I caught Magmar and Ditto before grabbing the secret key for the gym. At some point during this, clearly Ammonite evolved. I don't know when, I did not write it into my script, but it evolved. What these guys caught, the last Pokemon I could actually catch before getting most of the badges, was evolving my Dragonair into Dragonite. Yeah, so I'm gonna be honest, I apparently completely forgot about Route 14 in even the script. That's really funny, after mentioning it that I forgot to go to it after passing it twice. But I have the footage for it. I guess forgot to write it into the script. That's just really funny. So anyway, these Pokemon were caught. What these guys caught, the last Pokemon I could actually catch before getting most of the badges, was evolving my Dragonair into Dragonite. So I got the Chaining Raticate in the mansion until Puff evolved. With Dragonite achieved, we have now reached 127 total Pokemon, the most you can get with 2 badges. Now it was time to start clearing out the gyms. The only remaining Pokemon we can catch in this one copy of the game appears later in the bag check gates, being Execute, and then Moltres and Hitmonchan in the Victory Road. And in the post-game Cerulean Cave, Lickitung, Mewtwo, and Kabuto's fossil. So now it's time to sit back and destroy the gyms of the Kanto region, starting with Surge. Luckily, I solved Surge's puzzle on my first try, and Puff waltzed all over his team. We then destroyed Erica, but before I could take on Sabrina, I had to clear out the Sylph Cove, Team Rocket, and Battle Blue? Eevee seems completely exasperated, and honestly, that's exactly how I felt after stupid Sylph Cove. I was then able to take on Koga. With 6 badges, we were now able to catch the final main game non-legendary, Execute, which I evolved with the Leaf Stone. Now, we can get the rest of the gym badges, being Blaine and then Giovanni. With the gyms all defeated, it was time to head to Victory Road, where we will catch the final 2 Pokemon available before postgame, being Moltres and Hitmonchan, which is the special spawn for the 3rd floor. Then it was time for the Elite Four and the Champion, which was more annoying than anything as we stomped them all. We just kind of crushed our way through. It kind of helps that in this game you can literally go 2v1 against the entire Elite Four, and literally any battle in the game that you want to, so it makes battles kind of trivial, which is funny. But granted, since we're so overleveled after having to train all of our Pokemon so much, that it was a breeze. Now it's time to finish our challenge. I headed to Cerulean Cave, finding Lickitung fairly quickly. I also accidentally found Mewtwo and got sick of wasting balls, so I just used my Master Ball on it. The fossil spawn this day, unfortunately, was the Helix fossil, which I already had, so I just brought over my Kabuto from Go. So it turns out that it changes when you reset the game, not the day, which is my bad, so I could have actually just gotten the fossil by resetting the game, but, you know, in the end it doesn't really matter, because I still got it. Once it evolved into Kabuto, our Professor Oak challenge was officially completed. As you can see here on my completed screen, it took us about 31 hours, but if you cut the 5 that I was shiny hunting out, because I was initially combining like 2 different challenges for this, it's actually about a little over 26 hours. And we caught 135 total Pokemon. which is every single Pokemon that is available, and a single copy of Pokemon Let's Go Eevee. And that's about it. So that was my first ever Professor Oak challenge, as well as my first ever playthrough through the Let's Go games. And I'm gonna be honest, I still don't really like the Let's Go games. I'm obviously nonplussed because it's Kanto, not the biggest fan of Kanto, and the fact that it takes the controls that are for the most part good in Pokemon Go and then makes them dumb, and you have to only use one freaking Joy-Con to be able to control it. And I think if you use the Pro Controller option, it should act like when you have the Switch undocked, where you can like aim like this and you just tap A to throw the ball. It's so nice. It's so nice because there's a couple times while I was doing something in this challenge where I did have it undocked and I was playing like that, and that is so much better than the Joy-Con controls. So those absolutely suck. And yeah, I mean, obviously this is, I think, the best looking Pokemon game that they've ever released. It's very stylized, it looks good, and it will hold up for a long time. The controls suck, and that's my biggest complaint with it. Hopefully they'll add another option whenever they do like Let's Go Johto or whatever they call it. There's not much more to say. I eventually, a little bit later, completed my decks entirely, so I got the Shiny Charm, which I have, and I haven't really done any Shiny hunting. I got my Shinies full odds, and then, well, technically Shimurda was actually half odds because I had a lure up, so it was 1 in 2048 or whatever it is, and that's not really important. The Venonat was full odds, so that was cool. Yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, it's appreciated. It's been a long time in the works just because I haven't done the voiceover part and I haven't started editing, but now I have time again. So thank you all so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it, did appreciate it, and make sure to subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you all later.
Oh, baby.